So first type of factoring we did is greatest common factor. What do these share in common? And what I mean is, what do they both have? Good. And x. So you're going to put 5x, put parentheses, and then what do you get when you divide by 5x? X. Good. 15 divided by 5, 3. Good. It was. And if you had written 5, you would have only lost a half point because I do partial credit. All right, this one. Do they have anything in common? Actually, yeah, there is one thing you can divide out of both of those. What can you divide out of both 2 and 8? 2. Good. Put 2, put your parentheses. Why can't you take an X or an A? Because I see both of those there. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, so if you divide by 2, you'll be left with x squared minus what? Something A. 4A. Good. Perfect. Nice job. All right, I put this one in the intermediate category because it's a little bit tougher. What can you divide out of both 6 and 96? Well, look, if you don't know, let me make sure I'm on my Desmos screen before I share here. It's either 3, good number sense. It's either 3 or 6, but you can type in, look, GCF parentheses, I think it is 6, but yeah, look, see, it tells you right there. So just type it in, use your resources, right? So 6, now what else have they both got?
X3.
Good, perfect. X to the third, X3. So when you divide that out from the first one, the 6 is gone. You're left with X2, good, plus. Now, if you don't know 96 divided by 6, that's fine. I don't walk around knowing that one either. Look, I'm going to type it in the calculator. 16. And then is anything else left with that one? No, that's it. Now this one says grouping. The way you know it's grouping though is how many terms does it have? Because like here on your study guide, I have them all separated for you. On the test, they're going to be all mixed up. It's not going to say grouping. Like you have to know that, okay? So put parentheses around the first 2, parentheses around the second 2. That's what makes factoring hard, is it's all jumbled up, okay? So look just at the first 2. What can you divide out of both 8 and 28?
6.
I heard somebody say it. 4, good, 4, but you can type it in the calculator like I just did. Now, can you take anything else from just those 2? Perfect. Oh my gosh, this is going so well. You guys are awesome. All right, so you'd be left with 8 divided by 4, 2x plus, and then 28 divided by 4, close. Warmer? 7, good, there you go. Spoiler alert, there is going to be a 2x plus 7 when we do the other side. This has been going really well so far. Welcome to the group. We've been doing an awesome job. So just pick up with us. We're on the grouping one. Now, what can you divide out of both of these two? 6 and 21. And it will be negative, whatever it is. Negative 3. Good. And then you can recopy 2x plus 7. It's going to be the same. This is what we've been doing. Yeah. There you go.
I mean, how do we know if it's this or like the box?
So if there are 4 terms, it will be grouping. That's how you can always tell if it's grouping. See how there's 4 items like added and subtracted? That's how you know it's grouping. What are you saying with the box? Oh, like when you multiply them? Yeah, those have good. Yes, those have parentheses on them. Okay. And then your final answer, you're going to draw 2 sets of parentheses. In the first one, you're going to put 2x plus 7, like that thing that you had twice. And then in the other one, here, but look, I'm really glad you brought that up because listen to me. Do you guys know what he was saying? The box thing, the 2x2 window? Look it. If you were to multiply these 2 together using that box method, you would get what we started with. Do you understand? We just did it backwards. So we did that little window thing backwards. All right, difference of squares. You want to be on the lookout for numbers that are perfect squares. Do you see how 16 and 25, you could square root those? Okay, you could, good, perfect. Now it is 4 and 5, but let's put it together. It'll be 4x and 4x. This is the one where it ends up being the same thing in both of them. And then this will give you 5, but what am I going to put here? Yep, one of them's +5 and then the other one, good. And the reason why it's plus and minus of the same thing is, do you see how the middle term is missing? It was 0. You're making them cancel out. And that's how you can identify these ones, is like the middle term is missing. You see how there's no x, it's like 0x. Now this one, 2 and 98 are not perfect squares, all right? But they both divide by 2. So what we're gonna do, it's a 2-step problem. I know, you can't just jump straight to the answer. We're gonna divide them both by 2. Are you listening still? That's fine, but are you listening? Okay, then I'll take that. You can divide them both by 2, and then we're gonna be able to split it. So it's gonna be a 2-step problem. If you wanna set it up blank, it's gonna look like that. So what do you get when you divide out 2? That's really close, but the first part will be x squared, good, minus 44 was a really close guess. It is 49. You could type 98 divided by 2 in the calculator. I just know that because I'm a math teacher, right? But 49 is a perfect square. So how is this gonna split?
X, or just X.
Just x, good.
and divide by 2.
Well, what is 49? The square root of 49 gonna give you? Good, so it'll be +7 minus 7. Good job. All right, and then this one, 75 and 12 are not perfect squares, but we can divide something out of both of them. Let me share my screen. If I type in GCF, what was it, 75 and 12? 75, 12. Look, they'll both divide by 3. Good. So I'm going to put 3, put a parenthesis. So this one's going to look like this as well. If you want to set it up blank, you have to do it as 2 steps. I always get people that want to like skip the middle step. You can't do that. Like you have to write out the part in the middle. So 75 divided by 3, it'll be 25x squared minus 12 divided by 3, good, is 4. And do you see how 25 and 4, you can square root both of those? So like now it's going to work. So how would you split 25?
5.
Good, it'll be 5x, 5x, 5 times 5 is 25. And then how would you split up 4? 2, so +2 minus 2. That went so well that I'm almost nervous, but very nice job. We're gonna do the next page and then I'll do our halfway break, okay? Because this is going well. We'll have time for bingo and everything. Now, we might not do every single problem on this page, because if we do, I mean, these are all trinomials, they're all kind of the same thing, but we'll do enough so that you've got it. This is your X box thing, so draw a little X off to the side. What goes on the top? Yeah, -20, and then on the bottom, 8. So you can make a table, 20 divided by X, make your table. I usually try to like get you guys to guess your way through it. I need numbers that multiply together to be 20. Don't worry about the negative. It'll be 10 and 2. And to get a +8, it would have to be 10 minus 2. Very good. And so in your parentheses for your answer, you're going to put x plus 10, x minus 2. I'm going to leave these two for you. You're not going to actually work it out for next time. But if you do, I put the answers on Schoology, but those are the same kind of thing. And I think you can do that. We're fine there. Now, these are some harder ones. How do you find what number goes on the top for this one?
4 times 5.
Oh, good, and it'll be negative, good, so -20, very good. I'm letting it go that you're not writing this down because you're participating. All right, on the bottom will be -19. So you need numbers that multiply to be 20. Don't worry about the negatives, we'll get to that. Add or subtract to be 19.
19 and 1.
But it'll be, yeah, 20 and 1.
What? Oh,
20 times 1. I know 1 throws everybody off, so don't beat yourself up over that. Well, and it's just weird because it's 1.
right.
And it'll be -20 plus 1. Now, listen to me, because on your quiz, that part went great. Very nice job. And then don't write this down. You guys all wrote this. And there was really not much partial credit I could give you because you skipped like half the problem. What do you need to do before you can go?
You gotta do that thing.
You have to divide them both by 4. Good. So off to the side here, -20 over 4 and 1 over 4. And you can type those in the calculator too. I try to coach you guys to do a bunch of stuff without the calculator because it builds your number sense. But on a test, you can always type it in. 1/4 doesn't reduce any further. What will this one give you? Yep, -5 over 1.
Put x forward. X forward.
Well, we are gonna put the x's back in our parentheses. Just start with the denominator. So what would this one be?
Or x minus 5.
Yeah, good, perfect. And you can put the 1 if you want. And then this one, 4x plus 1.
I said x4 instead of 4x.
I wouldn't mark that wrong because it's technically right, but we don't usually put the x before the 4. All right, do you see how 140 is a really large number?
Yes.
I would probably try to find a GCF between those. Can you think of a number that you can divide? You can divide 4 out of all of those, and it will make the numbers a whole lot smaller. So if you divide out 4, you're going to be left with 1x squared minus 2x. And then you might not
Wait, I
know
wanna do it.
140 divided by 4. Do you want to make a guess while I'm typing it in?
No, 72. What?
I think that's a little too large. That's a overestimate.
60
62
times.
times 4.
It's going to be 30
No,
something.
why
sorry.
did you do that?
I didn't say the actual
Oh,
answer. I'm giving you a
okay,
chance.
39,
Shut up.
32.
Hey, fine words.
34.
35. Ooh,
Oh.
just.
All right, so minus 35.
Yeah, we're doing.
He moved back because he had to plug his Chromebook in. All right, now look it. Hey, can you focus? After we do this page, I'll give you your break. So your answer is you're just gonna have that 4 there, draw your 2 parentheses, and now it's a much easier problem because do you see how we don't have something in front of the x squared anymore? So when you do your x box, and sorry, there's not very much room there. Negative 35 goes on the top. Will you please? Negative 2 goes on the bottom. And you need numbers that multiply to be 35. Don't worry about the negative. We will get to that. It will be 7 and 5. Good job. But if you didn't know that, what would you type in the calculator? 35 divide by x, make a table. All right. Now something does need to be negative to get a negative 2. Good. So in your parentheses, you're going to have x minus 7, x plus 5. All right, we'll do this one, and then I want to show you something on the calculator, and then we'll do our break. All right, to get your number that goes on the top, you have to do 12 times 5, which, good job, wow. Thought I was going to have to type that one in. 16 goes on the bottom. So you just need to think of numbers that multiply to be 60. I think we should guess our way there. What'd you say? 10 and 6. This one's nice because everything's positive. That's always good. Now, you can't skip this middle step. You have to take the 10 and the 6 and divide them by 12. Don't skip that step. If you miss that, I really can't do much partial credit because you skipped half the problem. But again, this part went well on your quiz. You guys did well on that. All right, this would reduce to 5, 6. But if you didn't know that, look. You humor me for a second because you can type a bunch of this in the calculator. Look, 10 divided by 12. Do you guys see that? Turn it back into a fraction. We'll tell you the answer. All right, how does 6/12 reduce? Well, 1/2. And you're right, it'll be that in our answer. So draw your parentheses. It'll be, well, that one will be 2x plus 1. And then 6x plus 5. Good job. And then we're going to do this one as well. Saying the area of a square is this. What are the sides? What do you guys know about a square and its size? They're all equal. Good. All right. So whenever we factor this, we're going to end up with the same thing in both of them, just as a heads up. Now, the numbers are going to be kind of big, so I am going to rely on the calculator here. To get the number that goes on the top, you have to do 4 times what? 49. All right. So just look. I'm going to just type it in. It's okay. We have a calculator. 196. You were close. That was a good guess. Estimation is an important skill. It's a good skill to have. On the bottom, we're going to put 28. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm show you this. I keep bringing it up verbally, but I'm going to actually type it in this time. Look, 196 divide by x, make a table. So you need numbers that add up to be 28. And just as a heads up, they're going to be the same number there. I see them now.
14.
Do you see how 14 and 14 is 28? Got that there? Now don't skip the next step. You have to take these 14s and put them over
4.
4. You are turning out to be the problem today. Let's not have that be the case, all right? Now, I wrote it twice, just so you don't forget it's the same thing. What's that gonna reduce to? They'll both divide by 2.
7/7.
7/2, good. Can you write anything down for me?
2x plus 7.
Now, it's 2x plus 7. There's one other thing. What do we put since it's a twin and there's 2 of them? Good. Nice job. Gold star. So when it's a twin, you put squared. Now, all I need for you to do is watch. And I'm gonna put this on the recording because it's that important and I want it up there. Let's just pull one of these out. Let me do this one right here. Can you look at this problem for me? So look, to check your answers, to check them, can you look at this? I'm gonna type that problem into Desmos. So are you looking?
Yeah.
Let me clear this out here. Hold on a second. So what was it? 12x squared. What came next? You guys read it to me. 12x squared. What was the problem? What was next? All right, plus 16x plus 5. All right, do you see how it makes this U shape?
Yeah.
So instead of a line, it's a U shape. We're gonna talk about that more coming up, but anyway. Now here I'm gonna put the answer. What was the answer we got?
6x plus 5.
6x plus 5 in the first parenthesis. Do you see that? And then in the other parenthesis, do you see how they match up and line up exactly on top of each other?
Yes.
Now, like say your answer was wrong. Say instead of 1, you got 3. Do you see how they don't match up? See how 2, and then I put it back to 1. Do you see how they're right on top of each other? Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead and flip over. So this was the last section that we did, which was dividing. And we'll be able to do all these. They won't take long. So this one, I put this in the easy category because it's already set up for you. Do you see a match that is going to cancel out?
Yes, that's just x minus 7.
Yep, see these cancel? X minus 7 is your answer. That's literally it. Now this one, you're gonna have to actually work out. Draw yourself an X. We're looking at this right here, x squared minus 7x plus 12. Can you close the Chromebook for me? What's gonna go on the top? Can you close the Chromebook for me? What's gonna go on the top? And do you have an earbud in your ear? Get that out.
Blue one broke?
Do you typically sit there with that in your ear because it's on the opposite side and I can't see through your head? Okay, it's really disrespectful.
It's a physical black box.
All right, what's gonna go on the top of your Xbox here? 12, good. And then on the bottom, -7. Don't worry about the negative. We're just gonna come up with numbers that multiply to be 12 until we figure it out. So what multiplies together to be 12? It was 3 is one of them. I didn't hear you. What's the other one? 4. 3 times 4. And good, they're both negative. You can get that out of your mouth. It's distracting me at this point. You can go put that in the trash can. So in your parentheses, you're gonna have x minus 3, x minus 4, and then we're dividing that. So put a fraction bar. That's what this division symbol means. X minus 3. So then
X
what?
minus 4.
Good. X minus 4 is your answer. You cancel out the one that matches. Whatever's left is your answer. This one's the same thing. It's just a little bit more difficult of a problem. What do you notice about this? You have a 5, a 10, and a 40, so 5 will divide out of all of them. Anytime you see numbers that are kind of larger, you want to think, oh, can I divide something out of them so it'll make it smaller? So what's left when you divide by 5? Good. Careful, x squared minus 2x, good. And then 40 divided by 5 is 8. But if you didn't know that, you could put that in the calculator. So here's how it's gonna end up. 5 and then your parentheses, if you want to set it up blank, which I always think is a good idea. What's gonna go on the top for your Xbox? Good, -8 goes on the top.
2x, I mean just 2.
-2 goes on the bottom. Don't worry about the negatives. Just come up with some numbers that multiply to be 8. Would be 4 and 2. Good. -4 plus 2. We'll give you -2. So in your parentheses, it's x minus 4, x plus 2, divided by, and then what does it say? X plus 2. Perfect. Well, close.
5x.
It's
minus
the
4.
5 and then x minus 4. No, it doesn't mean the same thing. One of them has a 5. Right? And then this one, you're gonna do the same thing, except again, it's a little bit more difficult of a problem. -2 is not what goes on the top here. You have to do -2 times 5, so -10. And then on the bottom, 9. Don't worry about the negative. You just need numbers that multiply together. 10 and 1.
-1.
Don't
not-
skip this next step. You have to take those and divide them by 5. Good. So 10 over 5, -1 over 5. If you skip that, I really can't help you with partial credit because you've missed like most of the
I
problem.
forget that every time.
Try not to. I can't really help you out with the partial credit if you skip all of that. All right. So what is this gonna reduce to?
2.
2 over 1. This one is just the way it is. All right. So in your parentheses, this one is start with the denominator. It'll be
Plus 2.
good job.
5x minus 1.
Beautiful. And that is divided by
Plus
x plus 2.
2.
Good. So those cancel and whatever's left is your answer. Cool. You guys ate that up. Just do that again on Wednesday. Okay. This one, solve for x. You have to factor. What do these both have? What have they both got? Good. So put x, put your parentheses. Not that hard if you pay attention and listen. What's left? Well, it would be a minus b. Good. Equals 3. Almost. You have one more step. You're trying to get x by itself. So you would have to divide. Good. So it'll be 3 divided by, just moving that to the other side. I am not gonna disagree with you there, but you still have to know how to do it. You're just rearranging. Think of it like a puzzle. You know that little puzzly thing where you like putting the little doodads in? Think of it like that. It's just a little puzzle. You're just moving symbols around. All right. You making fun of me? You know what I was talking about though. What would you call that? The little puzzle game with the little beads, the noodles? Yeah, what is that called? Canoodle? Anyway, think of it like a little puzzle. These are your flashback questions. Draw a graph that is a function. I would just think of like a line. As long as it passes the vertical line test. Do you remember this? You have to draw a vertical line through. It can only hit once. Go ahead.
You have to draw a big one, right?
Well, I mean, it's going to be multiple choice or like, I mean, you'd be given a graph and it would be, is this a function? Yes or no? Well, you could draw a vertical line or you could think of something like this, like that bends back on itself. Do you see how a vertical line would hit that twice? So it's not a function. I think the way it is you're given a graph and it's, is it a function? Yes or no? So you just say yes. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Be creative. All right. These are your algebra tiles. I know nobody really liked this, but you know, it's on the SOL. 2x plus 1. So you're going to have 2 of the, I know you're going to be okay. 2 of the rectangles and then 1 little square. That's your 2x plus 1. And then going the other way, you have 1x plus 4. I'm going to leave this for you. I have the answer up there, but what you would do is you would fill in the insides with all the shapes. Do you remember us doing that? Like you fill in the interior of this with the shapes that fit is all that that is. All right. And then this last one, do you guys call this the butterfly thing? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. So, or cross multiply is what you're doing. You would have 4 times x minus 9. And then what did I stress about this? Like, don't forget, thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys listen to me all of it. Equals. And then on the other side, you would have 2 times 3x minus 20. I'm going to leave that there for you because I think from there you could figure it out. What would be the next step? We'll just say it verbally. Distribute. And then I like terms. Okay. I think you would be fine from there. So I'm going to end that.